talk to you after. Okay.
I'd like to call this November 6th work session to order. Already got somebody at the podium.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Hurry tonight, I guess.
First. But I can sit down.
Since you're at the podium, we'll start with Mill Run, since you guys are...
Way to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Terrific. Hi, my name is Michael Hollister. I'm the attorney for the applicant, and we just wanted to bring you up to speed with where we stand right now for the project. As you already know, the Bristol Borough Planning Commission gave their seal of approval last week, and what this means is once we get the land development plan, we'll really be able to get rocking and rolling. And what I mean by that is we have a goal of September 2018 to open phase one. And phase one is going to be the existing two-story structure and the first floor of the existing five-story structure. And that's going to be our assisted living and then the suite of medical offices and complements that are going to provide for the tenants that are going to live in those units. So the plan at this point is we have all of the windows installed except for one, and we're using that for entry and exit for equipment. We're starting at the end of this month to put the stone facade around the structure, and weather permitting, that should take approximately 2 months to finish. Our game plan at this point for the 3-story addition on the existing 2-story building is once we have our structural engineering plans and site work, what's the phrase for the ground? The soil investigation. Once that is complete, our game plan is to begin the steel work in April of 2018. And it should take 6 to 9 months to complete that? To complete the 3-story structure? Okay, to complete the shell, it should take about 6 to 9 months. Let's see. When we're ready to open in September 2018, the driveway will be repaved. We'll have all of the landscaping done, all of the water retention and rain runoff will be addressed, and we'll be ready to go. What sort of questions do you guys have for me tonight?
I have a question. If you want to go first, that's fine.
Okay.
The 6 to 9 months shell is for the addition, right? So I know we've discussed this before, but do you guys plan on opening before that is complete and continue to work on that, or is that going to be something that you want to have finalized before you open?
So what we're going to do is the shell is going to be completely enclosed and waterproof, obviously, protected from the elements. And then as we need more capacity, floors 4 and 5 will be brought online.
Gotcha.
And what I mean by that is it'll be roughed out
No, I
with all the
understand.
plumbing and electric. Okay.
So you'll be able to do interior work,
Exactly.
but you won't see much of that from the outside.
None of it.
Yeah.
I came for another meeting and I asked the questions I need to ask, so I'm good.
Okay.
The only thing I would like to say is, first of all, I appreciate you guys making this investment in town. I mean, you're spending $20 million or more into a building that probably would have sat there forever if you guys didn't get involved. The borough is working with you to get this project moving as soon as possible. I understand construction, so I know there are delays and things that these are doing, but I know when the building's done, it's going to be gorgeous, maintained, and it's going to really be a plus for people in Bristol, especially a lot of the people that are being in nursing homes and going to facilities outside of Bristol.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's going to be a plus, for people that have to go in there. So, again, anything I can do or this council can do, and I know Greg and Lorraine been supporting this project. A lot of people never thought this project would even happen. They were questioned that it would never happen, but I mean, you have our full support in moving this project along.
No, we're excited. This is going to be a crown jewel. We're really proud to be here and proud to be your partners.
Thank you.
I'm really happy that you took the shrubs down because that was starting to be a pain. So that's great. Thank you for doing that.
We're going to make this an agenda item for Monday night. I don't think you guys need to be here, but if you want, that's fine. I don't see anybody opposing what's going on here right now. I think you would have heard, from them if they were against this, but again, keep working and keep plugging away.
Terrific.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good, yeah.
See you guys.
Paul,
You got that?
be good.
Bye.
Yes, sir. We have the honor this evening to have our state representative, John Galloway, here this evening, who would like to come up and say a few words to Borough Council.
Thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I know I came unannounced. Real quickly, last week I was in the governor's office, and usually when I'm in there, I'm working with a team of people from the governor's office, and we're talking about different projects in the district, and, I got a list about this much, and Bristol Borough is pretty much the whole list. And I was going on about Bristol Day, and the tall ship, and I was talking, and out of the blue, the governor walks in. He's usually in an office and around the corner, and he walks in, and he said, "That's all I hear you talk about is Bristol Borough. That's all I hear. What is it with these docks?" I'm like, "Governor, you helped with the funding." I said, "You did a great job on this." I said, "You know what? You should go see them. You should come into Bristol Borough. You should see what's going on down there. It's really something that needs to be seen. These guys, the people of Bristol Borough do a fantastic job. There's this energy, talking it up." And sure enough, later in the day, I get a phone call. The governor will be in the area and wants to stop by. He's not going to be here for long, but he wants to meet you guys. He wants to congratulate you, and he wants to be a part of it. This is something you've created, something that people want to be a part of, and hopefully you can make it. I appreciate your time. I know it's a working session. Didn't mean to take up your time, but Governor will be here 9:30 on Thursday, and he just wants to say congratulations.
At the wharf, right, John?
Wharf, right.
He's coming
He's
down.
coming 9:30 a.m. at the wharf.
At the
It'll
wharf.
be, it's supposed to rain Thursday, so we're going to be underneath, and we'll make it work. The guy, he's going to be here like 45 minutes. He's going to say a few words. Ralph, you guys want to say a few words, and then he wants to see a couple businesses on Mill Street that are doing well. Maybe, leave that up to Pezza or somebody else to take care of. But I just think it's good. Like I said, people want to be part of what's going on here. It's not something that's happening all over the state or all over the United States, where you see a town like Bristol Borough that just is coming back, and the pride that the people of Bristol Borough have in their town. So, when people see that, they gravitate towards it, and I hope he sees the best of it. Even if it rains, we'll do the best we can, right?
I just think that this project, we fought very hard, including the manager and this council, to make this happen. But there were a lot of times we never thought we would get the remaining money to finish it. And if it wasn't for you and Tommy Tomlinson coming through at the end with that $750,000, they wouldn't be there. So this town,
This will be a celebration of that and a whole lot more. You've got a lot to be proud of.
And I just wanted to interject as well. I'm kind of taking off my council hat for a minute, and just as a relatively new business owner on the street, it has an absolute impact, period. I mean, there are a lot of people, I think, that thought it would just be window dressing, and it's nice, and a lot of people weren't even trying to be negative when they're like, it's nice, it probably won't have much of an impact on economic development, and they're not right. I mean, there have been so many people from August till October who just popped in, just pulled their boat up, and you can tell that they're boaters just by their...
Place was packed every weekend.
and it's great.
Every weekend.
It's just a great thing, it really is.
Well, it helps to have a restaurant like Eatery too, by the way.
I
Great
wasn't
food,
saying
man, great food.
We might have to take away the.
That's where he
the
was,
art
we had to fine him Bristol Day, he said, I'm at
Throw it up.
He said, I'm at Eatery.
I was in the back of that little terrace area. I love it back there. It's awesome.
There was a gentleman in Ralph's ward that was saying, oh, that dock, nobody's gonna come there, blah, blah, blah. And he stopped me, he said, I was wrong. That place is dynamite. He said, and I'm sorry that I said that stuff to you. He said, this is the best thing that ever happened to Bristol.
Bristol Day, they were waiting for a boat to pull out so they can pull in. That's how, I think Bristol Day was one of the greatest days this town had all year. It really
Look,
was.
I just think there's an energy, and take advantage of that energy. And that energy draws other people, and it through the government. And congratulations. And
Just so
thanks
you
to
know, we
Thursday.
got an email and a phone call from Harrisburg. They want us to go on your government channel, some people from the Borough Council to discuss how much things are happening. I mean, it's all over right now. To get a phone call from them to be on, I don't know what's it, PSN or PCN or something? Yeah, so we're thinking
Very good
about,
network, by the way, if you got some free time on a Saturday.
they want us to go there
I
and
actually come
do,
on there every once in a while. It's a great job.
us, you know, they want Bristol to go there and talk, so I'm trying to put it together.
Energy draws people, and, you've got something going here, keep it going, and that's why people like the governor said, I want to see Bristol Borough.
We'll be coming back for some more money, because we have a couple more
I
things
know you
that
are,
we
that's
need.
why I need that energy,
There's a
right?
couple more things we need
You
down.
got it
Just wanted to let
here
you
on
know.
Thursday.
Get ready.
I knew you.
You keep taking our call, you keep taking our calls, you can come unannounced whenever you want.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Herbie?
A couple things. One, earlier this evening, we had a house fire up in Harriman. It turned out it was a cooking-related fire. It caused some severe damage in the kitchen cabinets and everything. Fortunately, the homeowner had a fire extinguisher, and he was able to knock down the fire. Had he not had that extinguisher, I would probably not be here tonight. I'd still be there. But along with the extinguishers, I don't know if anyone has seen it, but Kidde, who manufactures extinguishers, has a recall on two types of extinguishers. There was 134 different models over a period of time. They've been sold at Home Depot, Walmart, Amazon. So if you have a Kidde fire extinguisher or one of those ones that you bought, if you go on the website, you could go on the Kidde website, or you could go on the Consumer Product Safety Commission website, which is cpsc.gov, and you can look up that recall, and they'll identify the specific model numbers that are related to the recall. But fortunately, and so if you have them, you need to take care of the recall. If you don't have an extinguisher, tonight is a good example of why you need to have one in your house. We do have the carbon monoxide alarms. They came in. We have the first 500. We're in the process of getting organized to get that program back on the street. And the new carbon monoxide alarms have 10-year batteries in them. They're like the smoke alarm. So once we install it, people don't have to, you should test them monthly, but you don't have to worry about change your clock, change your battery with the new ones. They'll be good. The fire department has scheduled a safety committee training on November the 15th. What we're going to do is establish a safety committee, and by doing this, not for the 2018, but for the 2019 state workers' comp insurance, we'll be able to get a 5% discount, which is somewhere $1,500 plus that we'll be able to save by having safety committees. And that's it.
One question I have for people at home, in case they do not call for a carbon monoxide or a smoke detector, why don't you just let them know where they should be placed if they buy them? Where should a carbon monoxide detector be placed?
Carbon monoxide detectors are required to be in the basement and on every sleeping level. So if you have people that slept on the first, second, and third floor, you would have to have one on each floor. They generally go in a common area like a hallway within 15 feet of a bedroom. And if somebody has, a specific question, we can always get somebody out there to do that. But if somebody has their own, they want to install them. We generally install them about 6 feet up on the wall. We don't put them on the ceiling like smoke alarms because the carbon monoxide mixes so well with the air that it'll be picked up on the wall itself. And one of the things that we're going to try to do with the grant, when we had the original carbon monoxide program, we had some stuff on the borough website, and then we also had like a flash screen on the TV channel too to advertise this.
And they can call, you have a private number here, right?
If they call the borough number, the fire chief's extension is 27, they can leave a message and check the messages.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Herbie? Chief?
We had the Operation Drug Take Back a couple of weeks, or 2 weeks ago, and again, very successful. Also, this is the time of year we have to get through all the state mandatory training, firearms training, even though above and beyond all our additional training. Usually this time of year, things start calming down a little bit because of the weather, but since the weather has been very cooperative for a lot of things, it also keeps the public up a little bit later at night, and so our call volume's up. Most importantly, with daylight savings time and the warm weather combination, the kids and their bicycles, now you have the darkness and the pedestrian traffic still at a high level and bike traffic. So we're just asking the public to really do due diligence with really being extra cautious driving at night, especially down our thin, dark streets with the kids are out in force. I just talked to a couple of them tonight, so if you would, just please use a little extra caution.
Have any questions for the chief?
I do. I just wanted to, well, first I wanted to say thank you because I did call you about people speeding around the high school when the kids' football practice was going on. I just would like to say a lot of parents are doing it, and I think that we need to be careful. Our own kids are at risk. This whole town, people were going through the town so quickly. I mean, what are you speeding up for? You're not going to get anywhere. You're just not going to get places faster. It's horrible. But I also have to tell you that at the elementary school, there's also been some speeding as well when the kids get let out and when they, in the morning as well. So someone called me and mentioned, if I could just mention that to you. I thank you for doing the other area, and people have to slow down. It's not great.
Anybody else for the chief? Betty,
No, but I do. Are we gonna start now?
good.
Okay.
You're first.
Last time we were here, we talked about a fundraiser we were getting ready to have. It was an ethnic food fundraiser. And the overwhelming response that we received from that fundraiser has really been amazing. I met with Justin Velas Hagan. He's the founder of the National Puerto Rican Chamber of Commerce. We have raised to date over $20,000 in this town. And he tells me that that's the most that's been raised in a couple of cities and towns. So that just goes to show you when people say this town isn't diversified, well, yes, it is, because everybody's out trying to help everybody. We still have sites that you can drop stuff off if you're interested. But Norma Sullivan, Joelle Baracle, Juanita Baracle Diamond, Hermie Rivera, Josephina Rosario from Josefinas, and Miguel from Miguel's Riverside Barbershop. Those two places were instrumental in drop-offs. They're still getting stuff there that we forward to Justin. But we're still out there, and we're still collecting, and myself. And I personally want to thank everybody in this town. I do have a plaque that is getting dropped off to me tonight that I will be reading next Monday. That is a plaque that he has given. He gave all of us one personally, but he also gave me one for the town, designed for the town, to read to the town, that I'd like to leave in Borough Hall to show his, thankfulness. Again, to get back on 88 curb ramps, we have been meeting periodically on Mill Street and Radcliffe Street, especially when the docs were coming in, with Amanda and my friend here. I always go blank, they Kurt. That's how I called you something else, didn't I? I don't know, like I never see you, right? But anyway, so I'd like to see, I guess we would have to put this on the agenda. We're able to apply for a grant request for $180,000. And we'd have to match, the match for us is 30%, which is $77,000. And I'd like to see us apply for that, give them permission to apply. I don't know if we have to put it on the agenda or.
Yeah, we'll put it on Monday's agenda.
On Monday, so, and it's for Radcliffe Market, Radcliffe and Mill, Mill and Cedar, Mill and Wood, and Mill and Pond. With everything that's going on Mill Street, I think this is a must, you know, the street's just overwhelmed right now. Bristol Day was amazing, and everything that follows is great. So, that's it, that's
So
all I have.
hopefully we're successful in applying for this grant, and if we do, we can get all them ramps done for $70-some thousand,
Which is not bad,
which is great.
yes.
All right.
Okay, and other than that, I mean, we just want to keep an eye on Luke Oil, my friend on Bath Street. Every once in a while I go by and there's one car, but then I guess they get I don't know, something happens and they end up with 7 or 8 cars. I just want to make sure it doesn't end up looking like a junkyard again. So we can just keep our job and keeping an eye on it. And that's all I have.
I don't know anything.
Louis?
I guess just with the closing of Walmart, there seems to be a lot of misinformation out there, and I don't know where it comes from, whether it's the local management there or just people's gossip, but I've got a couple complaints that employees there were saying that the store was closing because the township and the borough weren't working with Walmart, which is not the case. I know even before I was on council and when I was treasurer, I know there was constantly meetings with them. We rolled out the red carpet for them. And I think in this case, it's probably just an economic decision on their part, because if their lease is up and they have a super Walmart in Tullytown, they have another Walmart in Ben Salem, I think that we become expendable here. So I just want to let people know publicly that this council has worked with Walmart. We've worked with everybody. I think it's quite obvious just with what's going on Mill Street and the rest of the town. We try to be very cooperative with businesses and with service groups. So, and we will work with any potential tenant for that space. I'm sure they would be well received from the Borough Council. On that note, also, I had some issues about parking. I had people from a couple of people from the high school said that there's parking issues there during the day, and some thought that it would be nice if they had permit parking there during school hours, and they were told that the borough didn't want it, we weren't cooperating, and that's not the case. I don't know of anybody, I've asked all the councilmen, nobody's heard anything about any requests. So again, we'd like to work with the school. I think that was obvious when we tried to work with them with the fields and also with the basketball courts. So again, if somebody don't just take it for granted that we're not going to work with you. And on a positive note, I want to congratulate Wawa for redoing their Bristol Borough location when they're only less than a mile from a super Wawa. So it goes to show you, it's all corporate philosophy and it's economics. So I do congratulate Wawa. They did a beautiful job there, and
Maybe Rite Aid will get on that same scheme.
stay positive. Stay
I am, that's why I said, maybe Rite will get on it.
Yeah, well, hopefully. So that's what I had for tonight. Thank
Just
you.
the other thing with Walmart is, I know you had said people have approached you about the 24-hour thing,
Yeah.
and that's not true either. I mean, they approached Louis and said the borough wouldn't let them stay open 24 hours. They have never approached us about anything, and there's plans in the borough for a super Walmart expansion, and they were supposed to do 2 years ago, and we approved them plans,
Yeah, we did.
correct?
Yeah.
So I think it's like Louis said, it's an economic decision they made, or they couldn't come to terms with their lease, but whatever it is, you know, we would do anything to keep that store here, and hopefully we'll get somebody in, but as of right now, so to clear all rumors up, there has nobody approached the borough about a Gennardi's or a Super Fresh or a Giant, or there's nothing coming in that we know of as of right now. As soon as we do, we will let the public know. We send a letter to their corporate headquarters. I signed that today. We heard about this, and we heard about it through a fax. I mean, they faxed the borough. They didn't even call us. And so we're closing in 2 weeks. So, that's where we are with Walmart. Dave?
I'm good, thank you.
A few things. I wanted to take a minute to kind of congratulate someone that maybe at points in time I have given a hard time, not the right word. I've tried to get moving a little bit on his building, but Mr. Worthington on Farragut Avenue did a really nice job with his facade. It was, a bit of a problem at times, and he, I think, really decided to invest back into the borough, and they redid Bert's Pub. It looks very good. The tattoo parlor there looks nice, and there's a paint shop there, like a wine and paint type of store there that looks really nice as well. So I wanted to congratulate them on having, kind of followed through on their end of the bargain after we had talked to them a few times, and he had promised that he would follow through on that, and it looks good. And on top of that, actually, when I ran 6 years ago, one of the things that I had said is that I always thought that strip could be, not Mill Street, but certainly another part of kind of a little commercial district. And I want to congratulate the business owners there. This past weekend, they had a little fall festival, and it seemed really nice. It went off really well. My only advice to them, and I actually stopped in and said it, was that I didn't know. I don't know if Lorraine knew what was happening, and I know some of the other groups in town didn't know. And just for their benefit, not for any reason other than, hey, let us know and we can support your ventures like that. And they were receptive to it. I just think it's just a good thing for any business to know that, people in this town that are really trying to inject more and more life every day don't know everything that's going on. And if you put a little something on Facebook, don't assume that someone automatically then knows and they're just ignoring you. Reach out, and I know you'll get the support that you want from both council and from, groups like Raising the Bar and others. And on that note, too, I would always, like us to keep an eye on Danis's, and I would always just like to publicly say that one of the biggest marks of a small kind of market, restaurant, whatever, doing well is having thousands of people within walking distance, and Harriman is such a pedestrian place where you can walk everywhere. And I still think that building could be turned into something that could really be viable. And it's been sitting there for a while, and just would like people to start thinking about what they might do in there, and maybe we could attract someone there. And on another note, this might sound a little hokey, but I want to congratulate Ralph on. I live on Coolidge Place, and Ted Walp is moving to Coolidge Place. I don't know if this is a big secret or not. I don't think it is anymore, but it's Ralph is building a house right across the street from my house. And, I just think we don't realize what kind of a job any contractor would do. And I would be complimenting this contractor if it weren't Ralph. Anyone that's on my street building a house, and that it is so not intrusive into what we're doing, is doing such an amazingly clean and efficient and respectful job of the neighborhood and of the neighbors, and building a beautiful home in the meantime. I mean, I just can't imagine another builder doing it as professionally as it is currently being done. And I think you know, we're all gonna be really happy for Ted when he gets into that
Yeah.
beautiful house.
That'll be
there.
nice for him.
That's gonna be awesome. So I mean that sincerely, not in the way of council, but as a business person that is doing a lot of great stuff in town. To live on that street and to know that there's gonna be a construction site, you never know what that really means, and it's been fantastic. So, thank you, and
Thank you.
welcoming Ted and Ann to the neighborhood. We can't wait. I'm finished.
I wanted to say a couple things about our town and how many things have been happening. There was an opening the other night of Jules Catering, a little restaurant on Market Street. And again, Ralph worked on this building. It used to be the tobacco shop for many years. It was a good business, and Ralph took it over when the girl retired. He bought the building. It is state-of-the-art. You all have to go look at it. Miguel has a place in there, Christine has a place in there, the hairdresser and a barber shop, and this little restaurant that she put in there is awesome. It is beautiful, and we're really happy. We want to welcome Jules. And thank you, Ralph, for everything that you do. I wanted to say thank you to everyone that came out to the drag bingo for raising the bar. It was a major success. And I went to the Center for the Arts with Betty for the Puerto Rican band was there. And who was the band? What was that band? Say it again.
Yeah. The Caballeros.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
We had such a great time. It's
We're dancing.
Yes, it's Felipe's band, and it was a fun night there. Bristol Day, I want to say thank you to all the homeowners that opened their doors. It was a major, major day in our town, and thank you to the organizers as well. There's a lot going on here, and there's always something to do, so keep your ears and eyes open, and you'll get to see a lot of things here. I probably missed another 5 things that have happened in the last couple of months, but it's amazing.
Okay, I got a few things. Both of you, thank you for your
Well, we mean it.
kind words. Just to go through some borough stuff, the Fall Leaf Program has started. It runs for 6 weeks. It started on Thursday, the 6th, and it will run for 6, it started on the 2nd, it'll end on the 7th. So this Wednesday, it'll start again. Your leaves will be picked up townwide in brown paper, biodegradable bags, or open-top containers every Thursday for 6 weeks. No plastic bags will be accepted. So you can put your leaves in trash cans without a lid, squash them in, or put them in biodegradable bags. And again, it ends December 7th. I know it's not been cold, so there's still a lot of leaves on the tree. They're going to drop all at once. And like the chief said, I don't know if you mentioned this with kids, sometimes they gather all these leaves up and they play in them. And so we try to pick them up as fast as possible. Don't blow your leaves in the street and make it harder for our guys to pick them up. Try to bag them and put them out to the curb, and we'll pick them up. That's one thing. The last sweeper day will be Friday, November 17th. A lot of people will be happy with that. If the weather stays nice, we may still run the sweeper. Hopefully, if the weather's nice and we have a lot of leaves on the ground, we may still be running the sweeper, but tickets will end on Friday, November 17th. The tree lighting will be Friday, November 24th at 6:30 p.m. It's usually a great event. I think this year, our district attorney, Matt Weintraub, will be lighting the Christmas tree. He was chosen to come in and light the tree at 6:30 p.m. The Christmas parade will be Saturday, November 25th, and that usually starts, I think, around 1 o'clock. I'm not positive on that, but they will be here next week for a presentation. The Basin Street project that we discussed about widening that road, Kurt and Amanda's working on something. I'm trying to have something for everybody to vote on to go out to bid by December's meeting. I think we got to go out to bid on this project. Let's see where it's going to be, and at that time, we can make a decision on what we're going to do with that project. But again, I've been down there a lot because, just so you know, the borough workers, instead of going out to bid on this project, we asked for contractors to, if they were interested. Nobody called the borough anything to see if they wanted to work for the borough by the day or anything to try to do this. It's like a maintenance project. And I was going to try to send some of my guys down there to do it, but then I didn't need the aggravation. So I've been going down every day and trying to work with the borough workers, and I've been guiding them through this process. And John, what can I think of, Driscoll, is really leading the way on this project, and the kid's doing a great job. I mean, we're lucky to have somebody with his knowledge down there, and he's taking, they all are.
Right.
George is down there, the borough workers are down there, in between things, and they really took pride in what they're doing. So the wharf is being redone by our own staff and just buying material, so we should be saving a lot of money on that project. We're talking about closing the docks on December 3rd. How they're going to be closed, basically, we're not sure. Is it a sign says, you know, out on the dock that says closed? Do we leave it open? I mean, if the weather's nice, I really don't know how to, we know we can lock the gate, but we don't want a boat to pull in and then they tie up and all and get off and there's nowhere to go. So we have to make a decision in this committee. We already had one committee meeting with Gene Williams and a couple people. Your dad was there. And it was just a small committee meeting to talk about planning in the future. But I'm also forming a committee with some borough residents, if they're interested, and some council members to try to see how we're going to improve on next year, what we did wrong so we could correct some of that, and how do we move forward. So I think that people have a lot of ideas. We're having a lot of input from our guards that work down there on how we should handle some things. So, look, it's new to everybody, so we can't figure everything out in 1 year, but I think that it's been a successful year for the amount of people that pulled their boats in, and without any incidents or anything like that. I think we really went beyond what we all expected, so that'll keep going.
Yeah, I want to be part of that committee.
Absolutely.
I would like to also, if you can,
Talk about the, crossing guards. Everybody always says, oh, it's only certain people that get jobs. This is about the 5th time I've been asking for crossing guards. So if you want to be a crossing guard, please come to the borough and put your name in. We're looking for crossing guards. Part-time right now, who knows where it's going to end up, but you know, when you hear people on the street, it's only this one or that one, how do you get these? Well, I can't ask you anymore. So if you want to be a crossing guard, we need crossing guards. That's done. The last thing is the budget. Just to bring everybody up to date, including council, there's been some discussion on budgets. Myself, Louis, the mayor, the chief, Jim's been meeting with staff, meeting Public Works Department and other departments, trying to, for how we're going to balance the budget. And every year, you know, it becomes an issue. We're doing our best. We're going to try to hand out something next week to council to try to balance this budget. I mean, there's no tax increases that we, even if we wanted to raise taxes, we can't. So I think we're getting there slowly but surely. If council gets a budget on Monday night, maybe we could call a meeting. Even if it's a balanced budget, I still like to call a meeting so everybody can look at it if you have any comments on that. But we are working very hard on trying to balance this budget again.
And Ralph, if we could just stress, as we do annually, that when people see an advertisement in the newspaper.
Next thing is,
Go ahead, sorry.
So basically, everybody's talking on Facebook, I don't go on Facebook, so, about the earned income tax and the local service tax, that it's being raised. The manager has an obligation to council, is there's deadlines that you have to advertise certain things. And since we did not have a council meeting, and it would have had to been passed by November 30th, he had to advertise like he did in the last couple years, but we authorized him to do that based on the fact that if we need it, it's there. I could tell you right now, we will not have a local service tax or an earned income tax passed, as far as I'm concerned. It's not going to happen. So we're going to do everything we can to balance this budget and make it work. So I don't want Jim to take the hit on this, but again, he's doing his job, protecting this council and everybody else, to say, I have to advertise unless we call the special meeting. And even if we did, we wouldn't know if we had to do anything or not anyway. So basically, everybody at home that's, always quick to, jump the gun, we're working on it. And we have been successful in 16 years with this budget and everything else, so I'm confident that it'll work out again. Am I missing any agenda items? The leaf. What do we got for this rescue squad, Jim?
Can I say something? I forgot one thing, so while we're waiting for Jim real quick. I just wanted to announce that the final episode of the Small Business Revolution series is going to be this Thursday night, and at 8 p.m. at the Lower Bucks campus of Bucks County Community College, they're going to have an event for that last episode. It's the film itself and refreshments. Admission is $10. You can get tickets in advance at Great IDs by Ann, Mignoni's Jewelers, or at the Center for the Arts. Again, that is this Thursday at 8 o'clock at the Lower Bucks campus, the final episode of the Small Business Revolution. So should be a nice event.
The other thing is, we were contacted by the Bucks County Rescue Squad, and they were asking us if it'd be okay for them to come and fuel up only the ambulance that need gas, not diesel. They have diesel. And they want to pay for it. They don't want to do it for nothing. So the way, when we put this gas station in down there, the police and everybody has an access card, including the borough, where anybody that fills up. They put this card in, we know who the person is that went in and got the gas, how many gallons of gas they got, and they log in the miles on the truck or the police car. Therefore, it's basically to keep everybody honest. So you just can't put your card in and say, I got 30 gallon of gas, and you write the mileage down, and next day, I go in and say, I got 30 gallon of gas, but I only used 10 miles on my
You don't
odometer.
get gas there, make that very clear.
So therefore, when you get these slips, the gas didn't go in the car. So basically, it's a foolproof system, so we keep track of it. So they had asked the borough, is it possible that we could fill up there to help them out? I don't see a problem with it. They're going to pay us for it. It's just a little more paperwork that Angie would have to do, but whatever their card number is, if they use 100 gallons for the month, we send them a bill, they write us a check. So and nobody's against that, I don't think it needs to be an agenda item.
What's the advantage of that, Ralph? If we give it to them cheap?
Well, we buy gas through the
wholesale.
state liquid fuels, state bid list, so we're getting gas cheaper than anybody can get gas.
Okay.
So it helped, and I'm sure they can too, but they would have to store it. I think the buses come to your yard, right, Louis? The school buses, they come down. So, it's just cooperating with them and trying to help them out.
Fine with me.
All right, so we can let them
Can I ask
know.
Mr. Dillon a question?
if
I
you
know
want.
I've been pretty preoccupied with my daughter, and I never got a chance to ask you, but did the school board contact us about, we wanted to talk to them about the basketball court?
There were meetings and all.
What is it?
There were meetings and all, it's not,
There's a letter in the packet.
Oh, there were meetings. Okay, the reason why, I didn't see that, but
Yeah.
I've been really busy and I just wanted, all right, I'll look at it. Thank you for telling me this.
okay. Anybody in the public want to speak on anything? Go to the podium and state your name.
Jesse Walker, and I live at Brook Street, 320 Brook Street. And I sent an email. It's great. Thanks for telling me about the earned income tax and the other tax, and it's likely not to be passed. It is, alarming to hear that that was considered, that was put in the public notice. So thanks for clarifying that. And thanks, for all the effort you guys do, because you guys do put in a lot of time. I see that with stuff. So.
I mean, go ahead.
And I guess in another topic would be great. I mean, I know you hear all the good news you guys say about the docks and everything. I guess it'd be great to hear news about new parks and new open space for people to use in town. That maybe the town could consider that. It'd be great to have some new areas. That we could have parks for kids or people to enjoy. So
I wish we had more things for open space. I think all our open space is almost used up right now. But just to go back to this earned income tax and the local service tax, just so even people at home need to understand, every year things go up in the borough. Wages go up, insurances go up, maintenance goes up, you need to fix things. So we are capped right now at a certain millage. So we can't exceed, what's it, 59 we're at for the general?
The general fund is 30 plus another 5 mils with the court approval. We have to go to court
Well,
each
what's
year.
our-
35
total
mils for
is what?
general fund.
Well, what's-
Total is about 57 mils.
Right, 57. So out of the 57, 35 is in the general fund, which is the main part of this budget. Everything else is fixed. Your street lighting, your liquid fuels, your trash, everything comes out of different funds. So even if we wanted to raise taxes, the salaries, everything goes up, you have to figure a way to keep balancing this budget. It's not, this isn't just elected officials sitting here. This is a business we're running. Millions of dollars business. And it's not easy. So when people say, well, they don't want this passed or that, either do we. But there's going to come a time that if your income doesn't increase, your income has to increase because your expenses are increasing every year. So it doesn't matter. This keeps going up. If you stay here, you can't get to here. So the challenge is, where do we get more income? Where's it going to come from? I don't know at this point, but, we've been successful and we cut things and we watch what we're spending and, but I don't know. Eventually, I don't know if it's going to happen under this administration or somebody's administration, but there is no way you can constantly run a company or your home. If you made the same salary every week and your electric bill went up and your cable bill goes up and your phone bill goes up and your homeowners, eventually, if you're only making $500 a week and you need $1,000, where are you going to get the other $500? So you're either going to lose your home or you got to get another job to support this expense. And that's what it comes down to. Health insurance just has gone through the roof. It may go up 18%. The pensions, how much did they go up?
You're spending about $750,000 on pensions a year, so.
Right. Just on pensions. We're at 750,000. I think they're up a few $100,000 this year. So it's
That's supposed to
not,
level off the pensions after a few years?
no,
No?
nope, just keeps going up. So that's what I'm saying. So when people say, oh, I don't want, none of us want it, we're all gonna pay it. But, let's see what happens. Like I said, it's a company that you're running. It's not just a political seat that you sit here and you go cut ribbons. We're running a company.
I guess one question I have with the docks, though, they have to pay the people to be out there now? And is
Yes.
that like a new expense for the borough?
Yeah.
not anticipated
$10,
with the dock?
$10 an hour.
So that's an expense that wasn't anticipated with building the
Right.
docks?
Are you looking for a job?
No.
It's a shame, because we need people. Crossing guard.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Yeah. Joe, I forgot, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I really didn't have a whole lot.
Go ahead.
Just real quick, you know, every year at this time, the Advisory and Oversight Committee, 21st Century Learning Group that provides all the after-school programs in Bristol Borough, has its annual Fall Classic, which will be November 18th this year, from 7 to 10 at number 3's Firehouse down on Swain and Mifflin Streets. And our person here is no other than Bill Pezza. Tickets are available at the usual places, tax office, Ann's IDs, Mignoni's Jewelry. So just want to remind everybody about that. Also, too, and it's tough when you're the last person, because all the good stuff is already talked about that I'd like to talk about. But just in some of the comments, I'm real quick looking at some of our reports, and, you know, a major concern of ours is speeding and traffic violations in town. Just a little bit of information for you. Traffic stops this year have already surpassed 2016 number of 1,019. We made almost 1,200 car stops this year. And that can range from everything from speeding to traffic control devices, careless driving, and a whole host of other challenges. Our drug arrests are up almost 100%, and arrests themselves are up 50%. Not saying that there's more crime going on in town, but we're being more efficient with our police department and in what they're doing. Having said all that, it's a great place to live, work, and enjoy yourself in. Come out and try it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That's it.
So we're going to meet next week is the 13th. Do we need a budget meeting if we could balance that this week or no? Because do you guys want a budget meeting? Or if we could balance the budget is, we're going to give you a budget on Monday, right? Which is the 13th. Whether it's balanced or not, do you want to meet again on the 20th? Or you just want to, I mean, it's up to you guys.
I don't know.
When do we have to pass it by?
What's the
Dave,
deadline?
Tony, Louie,
I guess we work it out, if we vote on it.
Yeah, we get it done.
Dave?
See what it looks like Monday, if it's balanced, if it's good.
I mean, whether it's balanced or not, do you think we still need a meeting?
Well, if not balanced, I think we can talk about it.
We need to decide that tonight?
No.
No.
I'm just trying to figure out, so let's look at it this way. So
I
we'll
know.
meet on the 13th, no matter what, let's tentatively set a meeting right now for the 20th.
Because you know what?
Which
I know
is
you and
the-
Mr. Dillon will have a way with it.
Which is so we'll meet 3 straight Mondays. Monday seems like to be a good night.
Yeah.
So we're meeting the 13th and the 20th.
Mr. President, I'll be out of town from the 23rd to the 2nd, so.
From the 23rd.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving to the 2nd of December. So anything before that's good.
So the 20th you're okay with,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sir.
Good.
All right. Then, if we can work all that out, maybe we could just meet one meeting in December unless everybody's got a lot to do. I mean, it's Christmas is
Great
right
idea.
around the corner.
Like that.
So we'll make that decision next week too.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good.
Anybody in the audience have anything? Everybody's okay? Can I get a motion to adjourn? By
at that.
Louis, second by Tony.
Look at that.